It's Tuesday the 12th of June and I was supposed to be walking the Ridgeway this week. I started on Saturday the 9th, but sadly came home Sunday the next day because my rucksack here weighs about 18 kilograms. Yes, 18 kilograms. And basically it was far too heavy for me to carry on my own, and I ended up hurting myself. I ended up with like a pain going down from my left hip, down the side of my leg, down the side of my knee as well. That was quite painful. That started on within the first 3 miles of a 25-mile walk. So I got to Swindon, parked up, got the bus to Avebury. From Avebury I walked 2 miles to Overton Hill, and then somewhere between Overton Hill and Hackpen Hill this pain just started, and I would stop every hour to try and stretch it and get it better, but it kept coming back, and I tried shifting the weight in my rucksack and it still wouldn't go away, and I was in real pain for most of that day until I got to the campsite at Uppington. And to be honest, I did not enjoy the walk at all. Just walking on that terrain, it's like a dry, chalky track, the Ridgeway, and doing that with the pain for so many miles and everything, I had to come home the next day. It was the right thing to do. It's just too heavy for me. 18 kilograms, what was I thinking, really? And the other thing is, I could have followed on through day 2, but just to get halfway through the Ridgeway, but again, it would have been uncomfortable, very painful, and I would not have enjoyed it at all, and that's not the point of backpacking for me. So it's a real shame I had to come home. I've been very disappointed by that, but ultimately I do not regret my choice, and I made the right decision. So here I am looking at things again and hoping to get back out there sometime. My short-term plan towards completing the Ridgeway is going to involve doing these last 4 days over 2 weekends. So it'll be a Saturday walking, Saturday night in a youth hostel, and then Sunday walk so far, then somehow get home again. That would obviously mean staying in a hostel. I need no tent, no sleeping bag, no mat, so much less weight in a smaller pack. And again, doing the final 2 days would mean Saturday night walking, then camp Saturday daytime walking, nighttime camping for one night only, so minimal food and equipment. Finish the walk on Sunday and get back again. The hard part is going to be the logistics of getting around, really, because there's no public transport in some of these areas. I mean, I finished my walk Saturday in Uppington and there was no bus links at all going towards Swindon that I could find on Google Maps. I'm very grateful because a friend of mine was able to come out from Bristol and pick me up on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock from the campsite, and without her help I could have been facing a 12-mile walk and a hitchhike or something like that, so who knows where I could be right now. So yeah, what I'm going to do in this video is show you everything I've packed in here, and I'm going to then go away and weigh everything carefully and write a blog post with a link below in the description showing you each item and the reasonably accurate weights. So let's start with the outside here, where I've got the outer shell of my shelter, which is the Lux Hex Peak V4A. I'm sure you've all seen it or know about it from other videos people have done. The reason I've kept this here, although it was sometimes under the floating hood up here, the idea was that if it was raining when I got to the campsite on the first night, I could pitch the outer up very quickly, and the inner is inside my rucksack, nice and dry. So I can get the outer up first, get underneath it, and keep my rest of my kit dry, have a nice dry sleeping area, that kind of thing. That's my thinking anyway, and it works well enough. The shelter I'm happy with for a one-person camp. This I bought is a piece of Tyvek ground sheets. I bought it on eBay for £3 plus postage. I use that for when I'm kneeling down inside the tent and I'm trying to set something up and maybe the ground's a bit damp. It's just useful to have. You can lay your kit out, keep it all dry. I need to air this out really. It's been like 3 days now and yeah, it's starting to smell. So I'm going to do that at the same time. And that's just held with a single Velcro strap so it doesn't uncoil itself. So that's definitely staying, okay? In the bottom here we have let me show you, my sleeping bag. This is the Van Gogh Ultralight Pro 100, a 2-season pack bag. Again, plenty warm enough for this time of year. I have thought about maybe changing this for a sleeping bag liner and baby bag combination, maybe, but this thing weighs about 1 kilogram. I'm quite happy with it, and I've got no real urgency to go out and buy more stuff to replace it just yet. My waterproof trousers, I need to weigh these. I didn't wear them at all over the one day I was out, but it's good to have them just in case. They're actually quite heavy. They're cheap ones, £15 each, but yeah, maybe they could be upgraded at some point. Tennis ball is here because I used to get IT band pain on my right leg. I started last year, and if I'm desperate I can use this to massage it out again, although it's not as easy as using a foam roller. That doesn't have much weight either. On the sides I've got 2 water bottles. Both of these were empty on the day. This one's made by Pure Hydration. It's a recent purchase. It was about 40 quid. The reason I bought this is because of that water filter inside. So I was in the Black Mountains in early May doing a walk. It was a very hot day, and I was passing all these streams and waterfalls thinking the water in there looks so nice and fresh and cool and clear, and the stuff in my package is so warm and horrible. I wish I could drink it safely, but I had no confidence doing that. So now I've got this bottle, I can go out and scoop up the water when it's fresh and effectively carry less water with me on certain hikes, which means less weight again. That's my thinking. It's basically going to be my go-to kind of water filter, because this one, although it's not very cheap, you can squeeze it to filter and fill up other items like other water bottles and water bladders, whereas the £25 ones by I think it's Water to Go, you can't squeeze them. They're hard plastic. You don't squeeze at all. You can only drink from it, and that's it really. That's why I bought this one. I like it. It's weightless, it's empty, it's staying. And on this side I have a Camelback Chute. Yep, it's the Chute model. Very simple to use. Again, it was empty when I left, and I can fill it up when I need to. It's mainly for use at the campsite because I use water from their taps. I put enough in here to give me a cup of tea and enough for 1 dehydrated meal, so that works quite well for me. And that can probably stay as well because that's again lightweight and empty. In the front mesh pocket here I have my sit mat. Again, that's weightless and very handy to have. My mug sits on here because I had no room left inside to store it. I think a mug's pretty important when you're camping anywhere really. My waterproof jacket, again it's pretty lightweight and compact. This is made by a German company, Valda, I think you say it. That's staying. I use it all the time. Waterproof gloves, I did not use these once. And the weather since has been quite dry, so I'm not sure I really need those as much, but again they're not too heavy. They're made by seal skins. They'll probably stay. My pegs for my tent, they were in here, again for quick access when I stopped at the campsite if it was raining or something. They're lightweight, I think they're aluminium or titanium or something. They're these Y-section ones you can buy now, the 3-prong bits there. Really lightweight but strong and don't bend very easily. I like them. So they're staying. I've also got in there actually, I'll just show you, a sawn off tennis ball, sawn in half. So the pole for my Hex Peak tent can go into the ground without sinking in too far, basically. That's how that works. I learned that from another YouTube video. It's really handy. What else? Anything else? Yeah. Well, there's my map for the Ridgeway. Very lightweight and waterproof. It's a Harvey's map. Not quite as detailed as an OS map, but it was essential for following the Ridgeway, really. It was all I needed, to be honest. So that stays. And that's the main stuff sack mesh pocket gone. So the pack is the Osprey Atmos AG 65. And there are 2 front pockets on either side of the mesh pocket here. This red bag has my electrical equipment, so it's charging lead for the camera, the phone, and spare batteries and SD cards for my camera. That's pretty much it within there. also got a phone case I don't use. My evening meals, I had 4 of these in here. I was doing 5 days of walking, so that was all I needed really. These are made by Firepots, a company in Dorset. I highly recommend them. I've been eating their meals for the last 2 years. They're the best camping meals I've ever eaten. So if you've not heard of them before, they're worth checking out. I guess it's kind of heavy, but they're standard sort of size camping meals, so you're not really going to beat that, I don't think. I've also got my energy tablets that get diluted in water for a quick burst of energy, which is very helpful when you're in pain, I can tell you. On the other side, right, this bag's quite heavy. I've got my spare glasses in the case in there, just in case I break my other ones. They'll come out actually. Right, in this bag I have some books. Now, I've got my sit-around guide for the Ridgeway, which I read in the evenings. It's quite useful. I've got a book by an author called Keith Foskett, a long-distance walker. High and Low is about his own battle with depression, how he overcome it through walking long-distance paths, basically. I've not read this yet. I was looking forward to doing it on the trail, but next time I hope. And I've got a book here. It's quite large. It's a personal book. I write in here all my thoughts and feelings and things. The idea with the Ridgeway was that I would write down a summary of each day in the evening so that I could come back here at home and start writing an ebook on my experience of the Ridgeway. It wouldn't be so much a personal written guide on all the features and things. It'd be more about basically my experience and feelings along the way, as I said. That was my idea anyway. Maybe I'll still do that at some point, but we'll see. And there are 2 zips on the hood here. The first one contains the waterproof cover. I find it a bit strange really, because the cover kind of attaches in there to this loop, but your keys are here as well. So if you're going to use this cover, this needs to be open. So you can't store anything else in there, or you're going to risk losing it. So what I try and do instead is loop it around one of these straps and then pull it around the pack. But it seems odd to me that this would live inside the same pocket and be used in the same way, because if you lose your keys, then you're screwed, aren't you, on the trail? We all need house keys and car keys, but that is very important in the rain cover. I got my woolly hat in case it was cold, which it wasn't, although Swindon was quite cold. This is like a night light for inside a tent when I'm reading. I didn't use it once on this very brief trip. I normally use it when I go car-based camping and campsites and things. I think, to be honest with you, I have a head torch in there somewhere. I could probably do without this. It's not very heavy, but it just takes a little bit of space up, and it would save me a few grams, if nothing more. That's my start. So in the other pockets, I've got a pack away vest, gilet, jackets. Didn't wear it once, so that could probably stay out the pack. This is my ice card for emergencies, the contact details. I've got some gloves, socks and a buff in this bag. I could probably keep that just in case. My wallet, my phone was living in this waterproof case. A small microfiber towel for general usage, for my cup. A notebook that went unused, it's waterproof, I've not used it. I have my name there actually, but yeah. I'll carry it everywhere just in case. This is a head net for mid protection. Probably quite important, very small. Earplugs. And I normally keep my snacks in here for 1 day's rations, if you will. I was living on breakfast bars like this and flapjacks for each day, with a meal of porridge in the morning and a camping meal for the evening, as you saw earlier. So that's the top part done. Now we're going to go inside the main compartment. So in here we have the inner of my Hex Peak tent. I've also got a camping mallet in there with the head that comes off for some reason. That's not too heavy, so it's against my ideal shelter, so I'm going to keep it. I did pack my tripod and my action camera, and I used neither of them on that one day walking. I normally use them when I go hiking for time lapses and things. If I can, I would like to keep them with me on a backpacking trail, so we'll see about that. My cook system is the Jetboil Mini Mo. Again, it's fairly compact, maybe not super light, but it's got everything here that I need. I even got spare matches in the bottom because the ignition thing has stopped working on my Jetboil, I found out Saturday. One thing I do find tricky is that the lid doesn't fit properly. Well, actually, kind of okay this time, but normally it's kind of sitting on there a bit awkwardly because you've got the gas inside there with the main sort of units here. There's a little bit tight for room in there. Yeah, it doesn't work that way either. That's weird. But that's certainly staying for now. This red bag is my first aid kit. That's actually kind of heavy. I've got a basic first aid kit in there, some blister treatments, whatever they're called, Compede. I've got 2 rolls of zinc oxide tape. My feet are currently still wrapped into this tape as well to keep the blisters at bay. I've got a knife in there for some reason, which I've never had to use, and some other stuff, some paracetamol and that sort of thing, ibuprofen. So that's essential, I've got to say. It's fairly heavy, but maybe I might need all of it, who knows. Probably better to carry it just in case. My head torch is in this yellow bag. You call that yellow. That's much lighter than it was about 4 days ago. I had tons of batteries in here, which is ridiculous, and it was just so heavy. Now I've only got like 1 spare set of batteries in here for the head torch, and that will do me just fine. Alright. This bag here contains my wash kit, so I've got things like a toothbrush, a trekking towel, some dry wash soap, toilet paper in a bag, moisturising cream, because I do get dry skin. The bag itself is a bit weighty. It was a gift from my mother when I was going to a festival a few years ago. It seemed quite handy because it's got like a roll top closure. I could probably upgrade it to Osprey or something dry bag, but for now it will do and it saves me a bit of money. This one here is quite heavy. It's my food bag. It's probably 1.5 kilograms. In here I've got porridge sachets. I've got my spork, my fruit bars, flapjacks. And I've also got a pot, or a bottle, is that the word for that? A plastic thing of washing up liquid. It's not full, just in case I need it. I'm sure it's overkill for some people. Anything else? So that's going to stay as it is. It's pretty heavy, I've got to say. Speaking of heavy, I've got 2 bags of clothes in here. The red one has, I think it's underwear, t-shirts, socks. So I had a clean pair of underwear for each day, should I need it. I've got 2 spare pairs of socks. And I think I had 3 spare t-shirts in here as well. Maybe that's overkill. The friend who picked me up on Sunday, she's done the Ridgeway, she's done the Cotswold Way, she's done quite a few national trails and most of the southwest coast path as well. She recommends having just 1 spare pair of clothes. She was also saying about giving the potential for, depending on where you're staying, using pubs for meals in the evening and saving the weight on carrying food. It's all worth bearing in mind, things I hadn't considered before. This larger blue bag, the 12 litre pack, it has 2 spare pairs of trousers. I think again I could have just 1 pair in here and the shorts I was wearing on the day. I think that would be plenty looking back. I had a long sleeve top in here and also my thermals, which I did not wear at all. I could definitely do without the thermals. They are merino wool and I do not need those in June in the UK. So I could save maybe a kilogram with all of that perhaps. It's hard to say without being too pedantic with the scales. My water hydration system is the Osprey Hydraulics 2 litre bladder. This one's a few years old now and it works just fine. I've also got in here my extender pole for erecting my Hex Peak tent. This will join 2 walking poles together here and here. You lock them in place and then you can put it in the middle to prop the shelter up basically. I put duct tape on here in case I need it for an emergency situation. I think it'd be better off on the walking poles because I found the poles had to go quite far along here to get them to the right height, so I'll try and move that in the future, but this is essential for me in my setup, so that's definitely staying. I got a small torch here for visibility when it's dark inside the pack, but yeah, there's no weight to that. And I think that is pretty much it. What I will say though is that on its own, unlike most 65 litre packs, this one weighs 2 kilograms, which is not the most helpful of things, but to go ultralight costs a lot more money potentially, and I think it's a well-made pack. I'm a little bit concerned that I was finding that the hip belt itself was riding quite low on my hips, and it's supposed to be that the middle of the hip belt, which you can't actually see very clearly on this one, probably about there, is supposed to be level with the top of your hip bone. That's how it's supposed to be as far as I'm concerned. Whereas I was finding the top of the hip bone was more like up here. And that can explain why I was getting so much pain in the legs. And I guess it could be that the weight of this pack was forcing the pack down. In these pockets here, by the way, I do have, not very much, a walking pole, things I don't use very often. My compass will go in there as well. What else? In this one I normally keep my camera, which is being used now to film this. Not much else in there. And that's pretty much it. For now anyway. Oh, one thing I did somehow miss. My self-inflating sleeping mat. It's the multi-mat 3/4 length. I forget the actual name. It's obviously only about 4 foot long. It expands to about 25mm thick. One thing I found with this, it doesn't actually self-inflate, so maybe it's faulty, but I have to blow it up manually. After that though, it does maintain its air pressure. This works really well for me. It's lightweight, it's fairly compact, and I can get it in here with the sleeping bag as well, so that's a bonus for me. I'm going to go away now, weigh all these items and put it together on a blog post. Thanks for watching in the meantime. If you've got any thoughts on how I can reduce my weight or pack my pack more considerately, then please let me know in the comments. Any tips you have would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you again soon hopefully.